Okay, well, we've had quite a bit of rain overnight and actually the last couple weeks. A little bit of sunshine here and there, but rain. So as you can see here behind me, our pond is overflowed. But we've watched for this. In the past, we've built up, put things in place to prevent it from going on to our yard and for it to actually stay in the pond. So as you can see, that bench over there should actually be on land. Well, it actually is on land, but it's overflowed. And it's come back from a drainage area in the back off our property. So, you can see over here, you can see where there's actual grass where the level should be. This windmill is to prevent algae from forming. It actually spins in the wind and will produce bubbles in the water. It's not spinning too much now, but... And then of course the reeds also help break down material, act as a natural filter. So you can see here, you know, the level of water should be normally the highest point is just below that grass there. So it's come up significantly, and it's not usually in this area here. So one thing we put in place years ago was we built a trench. So we took a bobcat and drove a trench from here to the front of the property a couple hundred feet. So any overflowing will then come up and overflow out into the front ditch. Now that wasn't quite enough. We had to actually use the material to form a berm along the side. So this water level here is actually higher than the front yard. So without that berm in place, it would have overflowed and created probably about 2 feet of water over in the front. So the only part that has caused a problem this morning after all this rain is the water did kind of seep around and come through this area here and flow over and go into the grassed area. So that's one point of failure that I'm going to have to take a look at, and it's basically just moving this material over and completing the berm over to that dead stump just to close in the lower areas. The ducks and geese are just loving the water. So we'll go out to the other side and we'll warp over to behind those buildings there, and I'll give you a look at the trench. Okay, so here we are behind the buildings, the rabbit hutches, and if we go over, it's kind of grown in quite a bit, but you can see the trench here flows right through and out to the pond. Now turning around, you've got a better look of it here, and we've made this overland with a conduit, which you can't see because of that tree, but there's a conduit in there that runs through. So this is the ditch that we cut out years ago to combat this problem, and we just used we rented a bobcat. So it's 4 feet across, 4 feet and change, and it runs right out to the front ditch, which actually is pretty shallow. But you can see here we've got our water movement nice pace just to keep everything where it should be, or where it shouldn't be. So, and this is the front ditch along the highway. So I found an old video, and I figured before I show you that, I would show you today's view. Our mobile home was actually built on in here. This was built onto the back of it, and then this was our front decking area. So in the next video, you'll see the trailer sitting here. Now, in the video, all this is underwater. And I talk about building the house with the wellhead, level with the wellhead coming across. We decided to build the house out of ground just because of the flooding issue, and there's no point in putting in a basement if we're going to be bailing it out regularly. And in the video, you'll see the water actually goes all the way up to probably about this spot in here. So this is what it looks like today. We got just as much, if not more, rain than we did then. This here is the berm that houses our septic field, which again is above ground. Again, there's no point in putting a septic field in the ground when it's just going to be sitting underwater. So that's today. Got a good rain last night. Severe rain. And as you can see, our septic field is doing its job, high and dry. So, abnormally high water year, and I guess this is what happens. So, when the house is built, it'll be built a little bit higher up, of course. Oh, the water's just underneath the trailer. So I have to raise that up a little bit more. There's the fire pit over there. And the grade level for the new house will be right at the top of the well. So it'll come right across 3.5, 4 feet high. And we got the sump pump running. It's been running all night. Out into the ditch. Okay, so here we are back at the other end, the pond entrance. I'm standing on a makeshift dock, which was actually our patio staircase at one point. So just to finish up here, the windmill, it actually aerates and puts oxygen into the pond. It's a little murky at the moment just because all the water that's come in overnight and, in the past few days anyway. The reeds act as a normal filter, natural filter, and it doesn't look like anything's coming up. So it looks like this is about as high as we're going to get, and which is good because we don't want any water up front, and the trench seems to be doing wonderfully. Anyway, that's about it for this. So again, if you like this video and want to see more, I've been trying to upload once a week, and give me a thumbs up if you find this helpful. Ask any questions if you'd like, and we'll see you next time.